Hey there, it's Derek from Pacific Coast Auto here in Japan, and here we're taking a look at a white Land Cruiser 70. This one here is a 73 FRP top. That means removable top here. This one here has a 2.4 liter inline 6-cylinder diesel engine and has 200,000 kilometers on it. It was bought from auction here in Japan, and we're going to be exporting this one here to the USA under the 25-year rule. Now the 70 series is cool because they made it from 1984, I think, up until 2015, and so a nice long product run. This one has a few parts that are from a later model one, like for example these corner lights. Also I think the front and rear bumpers, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's jump into the review. It's a good running engine here. Timing belt was recently changed at just over 200,000 kilometers. The dual battery version, which means, well, in this case it means 24-volt electrical system. These are highly robust engines that are very good. They're not that fast, but the FRP top is fairly lightweight. It's a short wheelbase, 2-door, if you don't count the doors on the rear. And the engine is well suited for it, or you can turbo it yourself. A diesel is a pretty simple engine to work with. I'm going to lower the hood, so I'll let you look at the winch here for a sec. And that's a stock winch on it. It's run by the it's a pneumatic winch run by the power of the engine, not electrical at all. And it looks like the cables are coming out a little bit. This is kind of interesting. You just pull this out and then the hook is attached to that. I've actually never seen that. Usually they'll hook it onto like one of these side pieces or onto the front bumper or something like that. Alright, let's go over the auction inspection sheet here, and just before I do that I'm going to power the engine off. No troubles with the engine that I could tell. I did check the oil and the coolant. It does have an exhaust leak. And this one does have the front and rear locking diffs, which was a rather rare option, and lucky to have it on here. People would pay a couple $1,000s more for one that has those, just because it's really inconvenient to buy one or to find one that has that. So and condition of this, I would say, is pretty good. It's better than I was expecting, having read the auction sheet, so let's quickly go over this. So it's a 1993 Land Cruiser 70 series, and they had the 70 series was made at the same time as the 60 and the 80 and the 100 series, and so long lifespan for this one. It's the workhorse version of the Land Cruiser, not your comfortable one. 4200 cc. Oh, and let me show you this. See the roll bar in there? That was an option too, and a very rare one, even rarer than your diff locks, which is down here, and it's front and rear. There's a diff lock that goes for the front, or sorry, the rear only, and then there's one that's front and rear, so the front and rear is the best of them. ZX version, auction rate 3.5 with an interior C, original white. Again, a rarity. 208,863 kilometers on this one. These are sales points. Front and rear diff lock grill guard on it. Suspension kit. Timing belt has been replaced, and 19 sheets of history, which is huge. Even though it is a rather old vehicle, it's good to have that full history. So in 2001 and 2017, the timing belt had been changed. The most recent one at 321 kilometers. History papers for that as well. There's a sticker inside the engine room. In 2016, the winch had been replaced or repaired. BF Goodrich mud terrain tires and fog lights on the front. And these mud terrain tires, they're a fantastic tire, and these were replaced in 2017, and they look like they have full tread on them. Also, these are the original wheels. And so the double locking diffs means that at all times you're getting full traction to every wheel, and that is the best for going 4x4. That's the type of thing that you would get out of a Defender or a G-Wagon as well, but in my mind these are cooler than both of those. And we do sell a lot of Defenders, not so many G-Wagons because they're still rather expensive. Well, Defenders are more expensive, but Japan's one of the only places you can get them these days. Okay, report here from the inspector. Aftermarket steering wheel, it's a Momo 1. Trim has one part cracked and is sun faded. headliner is coming down right there. Carpet has some wear on it, underside surface rust. It's actually really clean. I took a good look. Wheels scratched, various scratches and dents. Exterior has some uneven paint. Now take a look here, because this is what scared me the most. It says C3. See these hash marks there? C3 means large corrosion. So I'll show you that in a sec. It has some dents in the front bumper here, some cracks in the over fender here, and some repaint marks here and here. Also, the windshield is cracked. It's very important that we check that prior to export. We had been requested that so that we have time to get it repaired if needed. It doesn't look like it needs to be repaired though. There's a very tiny crack right here. And it's that big. Okay, so the C3. Now usually when there's C3 it's going to be on this piece, because this piece tends to rust really easily. It can be replaced really easily. This is the one that has the rust on it, and if you take a look you can see bubbles on it, really large ones, and it goes all the way to the other side. Now this windshield can be folded down, so you have the hinges here, but when you fold it down, this one doesn't have the blocks that go on here to hold the windshield into place. Actually they're more like here in the center. There was a kit that you could get for this, that when you take off the top you can fold down the windshield and you can take off half of the doors. This one doesn't have that kit, but I've only ever seen one of those in Japan ever, and so it must be very rare. They would have a detachable section here on the doors that you can take the top half off, because if you take the top off with these doors on, it would look really weird having the doors stick up like that, even though the top is off. And so most people would just take these doors off. There's a pin inside here that you can use to take it off, and then you can put a net on the back, or you can custom fab something. As far as I've seen, there's no like tailgate type thing original from Toyota, but it could be something that was maybe in other markets. Okay, let's have a quick walk around this one so that you can see its beauty. The paint is in good shape. These really stand out in white. Maybe it's because they're so rare, but the white one is very appealing, and you'll typically pay more for an all-white version of this. There's a rear mount spare tire, barnyard doors on the back, which is a 70 series thing. The 80s came with barnyard or tailgate, and then, oh yeah, the 60s came that way too. And the 40s came that way. So I guess it's kind of weird that this one only comes in one configuration. Oh, it looks so good. I love the 70 series. Okay, so have a quick look at this. The grille guard and the front bumper look to be in good shape. You can see the dent there and some scuffs on it there. Have some rust in this piece here. This is cracked a little bit, but otherwise looks to be in good shape. If you go down the side panel, you can see the side panel is nice and clean. Looks really good on the knobbly tires, and it's leaf sprung suspension, solid axles front and rear. Openable back windows here, you can slide them forward and backward, and then power windows in the front. We'll have a quick look here at the bed. This one has a nice clean bed. So easy to load things into it. Rear bumper, yeah, I don't know. I think that this is a later model rear bumper, but I could be wrong about that. Here you can see how that is attached. Okay. And the carpet in the back, that looks like they didn't load very much stuff in here. And then if you need more room, you can double flip this seat. So it flips down, and then the bottom of it flips up to give you the maximum amount of room in there. No signs of any rust on this piece, which is kind of a rare thing, and nothing on the back section here. I'm going to give you a quick look at the underside here, because the rear frame tends to corrode right here and along there. And you can see it's all tidy and good. And here's a good look at the differential and the exhaust. Okay, to the front. Okay, so these door cards tend to get cigarette burns in them right here as people rest their arm on the window. You're going to be quiet for me. Doesn't smell like cigarettes inside, so that's a huge plus. Seats are in good shape. And then if you look here, it's a spring seat, sort of like a bus driver's seat. And you can set your weight so that it springs the appropriate amount. This one here makes you more springy or less springy, kind of cool. Or you can lock it and have no spring if you want. Here's the aftermarket steering wheel. It's a Momo. It's a nice steering wheel. It is kind of funny that it's a race steering wheel, apparently. So we have here hub lock and four-wheel drive hub lock. So it's rear-wheel drive until you turn that on. And then if you want your diff to be locked, you can lock it here or lock it there. Automatic transmission. Now you can get them as manual, but they're quite a bit rarer. And to find a manual with the diff locks is, yeah, really quite rare. People always say that these aren't 24 volt. I don't know why people say that, but I tend to be wrong about things too, so I'm not going to be upset. This is original. The AC works, and I love how the dashboard is made out of metal, and the glove box. That's the original auction sheet in there. Starts up no problem, and here it shows you when your diffs are locked. Okay, now you can get into the rear seats fairly easily. I'm going to show you from the other side, just so that you can see how easy it is to get into the rear. They got nice big doors, and the seat comes forward pretty far. Still less convenient than your four-door version of this, but you can see me getting in here. Missing the floor mats, I just noticed. There's the springs for your spring seat. Huh. There we go. You just have to be a man about it. Or use aggression if you are not a man. Okay. Now how do I get out? Pull this, I guess. Ooh, easy. And throw that seat back into position. Easy peasy. And there we go. That's basically it for this Land Cruiser. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.